Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, December 29th, 2011. This is Joseph P. Farrell with our last news and views from the Nefarum for the year 2011. What a year. Again, I want to thank all of you that have become members of the website, given me your comments, your prayers, your support, your donations. I'm more grateful to all of you than you know. And one quick announcement, actually two announcements. The first is, for those of you who don't know, I am a regular guest now on the Jeff Rentz show. That will be every fourth Wednesday of every month. I have been posting notices. We had a nice conversation last night. I was on his show. We talked about various things. So check out Jeff Rentz's site and listen to the shows. And the second announcement is that Dr. DeHart and I are indeed done with our very first ebook. So the reason why it's not up at Amazon yet, it's not uploaded as a Kindle book yet, is we're waiting on permission for the cover art. We have a backup cover if we're not able to get permission in a timely fashion for what we want to use on the cover. And we're also waiting for a corporate logo, which is supposed to be delivered today. So there are some holdups, but as soon as that comes through, I'm hoping next month, sometime after the first of the year, to get that book up. We are also planning to make it available as a Lulu print-on-demand book for those of you who do not have Kindle. This book is an explosive book. We do review at some length a very important conception for people to understand, to place the context of the book in. Now, that said, I'm going to tell everybody what the title of the book is. It is called Yahweh. The subtitle is The Two-Faced God, Theology, Terrorism, and Topology. All right? And it's volume 1 of a series of little ebooks that we're planning called Apocalypse Theater. These books are going to be between 100 and 150 pages in length. They'll be about half the size, in other words, of my regular books, and therefore about half the price. They're more conceptually oriented than detail oriented, so they're a different type of book than what you're used to reading from me, and for that matter, the two other books I've co-authored with Dr. DeHart. Anyway, that's what we have coming up. Now, I have a couple of observations on things in the news. The first is, as you're watching the Republithugs debate in their endless debates to become the nominee of that particular political party, none of them, with the exception of Congressman Ron Paul, have raised objections to the National Defense Authorization Act, which in effect allows the federal government to detain any American citizen, that's you and me folks, without habeas corpus or anything of the sort, indefinitely at secret, undisguised locations, and so on and so forth. So in other words, every last one of the Republithug presidential candidates are sock puppets. What really is disturbing to me, and the reason I'm talking about this in the context of the announcement I just made about the ebook, is that you would think that the religious right, which has made a practice not only of what I like to call pimping God during political election years, but also of wrapping itself in the American flag and patriotism and American values and all of that stuff, you would think there would be an outcry from that wing of the American voting public, and yet there has not, to my knowledge, been significant outcry from the evangelical voting bloc in this country against that measure. And people, I even had a couple of emails. People wonder why that's so, and it's very simple, folks, and it's very disturbing, but nonetheless we get into this in the Yahweh book. The reason's very simple. The ultimate foundations of any of the Yahwist religions are in fact tyrannical. That's the bottom line. And they're not only tyrannical, but they're based in a kind of moral schizophrenia. So that schizophrenia, to a certain extent, in my opinion, and in Dr. DeHart's opinion, carries over into their public policy stances. So it shouldn't surprise us that on the one hand you see this support for conservative political candidates, and on the other a basic unwillingness to deal with the fascist tendencies that our society and culture is headed in. Those tendencies are deeply rooted within the nature of that religion, and that's one of the topics we explore in the ebook. Now, the other little topic I want to talk about, and I will try and remember to link this. This is an article that the Daily Bell ran, and I think it's very, very significant, and I wanted to share it. The article is entitled Big Picture Scenario for 2012, Most Probably a Deflationary Debt Trap. And the article is about 4 scenarios that they've laid out about what their economic prediction is. The 4 scenarios are, number 1, reflationary stabilization; number 2, deflationary debt trap; number 3, the Greater Depression; and number 4, hyperinflationary collapse. And the scenario that they're opting is going to be the scenario that we'll be living under for the next 3 to 12, possibly even as much as 24 months, 2 years from now, is the deflationary debt trap. And I find this very interesting because I'm one of the few out there who over the last couple of years has been noticing that in spite of all the hysterical outcry from some analysts and economists that hyperinflation is just around the corner, we're going to be buying loaves of bread with wheelbarrows full of money like they did in Weimar Germany, I'm one of those out there that has had misgivings about that scenario all along, because we should have noticed by now, long ago in fact, with the amount of bailout money that was pumped into the system, we should have noticed if there was going to be a hyperinflationary scenario, we should have noticed that taking place by now. In other words, you can't put electricity into a circuit without seeing the result somewhere along that circuit, and yet we're not seeing that. So it's been bled off somewhere. It's not showing up in the economy like it should. In fact, the reverse appears to be true. Banks, businesses, and so on are, as other commentators have pointed out, very, very reluctant to loan money to start up businesses and so on and so forth. So we're living in a kind of possible preparation for a deflationary scenario. And I found that analysis in the Daily Bell very interesting, and I want to link it to you. So anyway, that's what we have in the news and views for this week. I will be blogging this week a little bit more, I'm hoping, if I can find out some information about the drone and all of that business, and if I can find more information about the Patriot missile scandal that happened in Finland that I blogged about a couple days ago. So anyway, if more information comes up this week, or if I think that I need further commentary on emerging news, you'll see my ugly mug again. But if not, I want to wish everybody a very, very happy New Year. To all of you, you know who you are, that have given donations, memberships, support, prayers. I know many of you by name, and be assured that you have my prayerful good wishes for a very happy New Year. Anyway, God bless everybody, and I'll see you on the flip side.